Welcome back to What You Missed, a video game news show where I discuss articles that occurred within days to a week ago that you may have missed that are important to the video game industry and possibly to you.
Welcome back, Mavericks and subscribers alike. I really appreciate you guys tuning in to this episode of What You Missed. We've got quite a few news stories to discuss, so let's get right into it. PlayStation Plus's price has increased, but there is a way to avoid getting that increase, at least for a short time. Now, before I get into slamming Sony, because I am going to, you need to understand that I'm not a Sony fanboy, I'm not a Nintendo fanboy or an Xbox fanboy. I have all the systems. I have a PC, I have a 3DS, I have obscure gaming systems. I love video games in general. So what I'm saying out of love and necessity, and I'm not a PC elitist either. So before I get into that, I want to explain how you can avoid paying for this increase. Basically, the increase is going to go up from $5 to $10 extra, depending on what type of membership you want to buy. And this is in the United Kingdom. But if it's happening in the United Kingdom, it's going to happen elsewhere. Now, a lot of people are saying that this is due to the simple fact that the movies they are producing, Sony itself, like Ghostbusters and the Emoji Movie, they're bombing and Sony has to make this up somehow. Now, I don't really think the gaming division is associated with the movie division, but the fact that Nintendo's stock is flying up versus Sony's, that is pretty stagnant to say the least, it shows that Sony has to do something for the shareholders to keep the shareholders happy. As you are an existing member, this means the reoccurring subscription fees payable by you on or after 31st of August 2017 will be changed to the new price Sony has confirmed. Now, this is kind of grimy also, because if you didn't understand or know that this happened, you would have a credit card or a debit card or something and you wouldn't know about the price increase, and you probably wouldn't notice it for quite some time. If you prepay for your subscription ahead of time, that's basically what it is. Now, I'm going to explain why I think this is pretty ridiculous. I'm not saying that Xbox's services are much better or Nintendo's are much better, but at least with Xbox, there are games with gold that you get to keep even if you don't have Xbox Live Gold or you're offline. With PlayStation 4's PlayStation Plus, basically you're renting the games as long as you have a subscription. So if you have the subscription, you can play the games that you got any month free. You don't have to play them that month. You can play them other months, but if you let your subscription slip, you don't get to play those games anymore. So Xbox Gold has that above PlayStation, and then Nintendo's online services, it's pretty ridiculous right now, so I'm not even going to go into theirs. It's not a good value. That's how I feel about it. You can disagree with me. That's perfectly fine and acceptable. But at the end of the day, how do online services like Steam and the PC variants of many games like Call of Duty and Battlefield 1 remain online through services like Steam, Origin, Battle.net, and not charge people? So, like, the argument is that how are Sony and Xbox going to maintain their servers if they don't charge people? Well, then, how does Battle.net and Blizzard maintain their servers if they don't charge people? Because they have other games that they charge for, like World of Warcraft. They have free online for games like Diablo 3 and Overwatch. There's a balancing act. And ever since people started accepting paying for online with services like Sony and Nintendo coming up, this has introduced price hikes. If Steam can get away with not charging anyone for their online services, especially for their games like CSGO, with literally millions of users playing it, you just buy the game, they don't charge you for the online service. You already pay for internet. Then how do other services get away with charging you for their online service? What is Sony offering you that is so tantalizing that you have to pay upwards into $50 to $60 a year just to play online with your friends? Free games that you can rent and play whenever you have your online subscription service? Is that really worth the price that you have to pay on top of your internet bill? Now, a lot of people will say, well, this isn't a lot of money. It's just, you know, it's just $50 to $60. But I mean, the PS3 was free. You know, you could have put that $50 to $60 towards many games nowadays. So that's my point. When you allow allow things like this to continuously occur and you remain apathetic, it just grows to a ridiculous proportion. I don't think anyone should be paying for online without getting something serious out of the deal. And I'm sorry if it puts you in a bad mood, but unfortunately, that's just how I feel about paying for online services when there's competing services like PC gaming it's just 10 times better. You don't have to pay for it. You get games for cheaper. See, I just built a PC today for under $400. That includes the LCD monitor, a keyboard, a mouse, and the PC and graphics card. Everything you need to start PC gaming under $400. It really gets to me when I see services like this charging for online. And I'm sorry I took so much of your time up just talking about this. But let's move on. So Nintendo has tested Mario Kart without the blue shell, but it feels like something's missing. So basically, the director of Mario Kart 7 and 8 has revealed that Nintendo was testing the game without the blue shell. Quote, "Something I personally really consider as the human emotion element of the play experience. So, for example, playing Mario Kart. If you have something that feels unfair or makes you feel frustrated, or makes you angry, everyone is different in that respect. What you feel is unfair might be different to someone else. As far as possible, we want to avoid these feelings of frustration." The director went on to discuss whether or not they've considered omitting the weapon altogether, and quote, "We have tried, or we are trying, to see what the game is like without the blue shell. When we've experimented without the blue shell, it actually feels like something is missing. Like there's something not quite right, or not quite enough in the game. So for now, we've kept it in." And the director went on to say one last thing. Quote, "You know, sometimes life isn't fair. Sometimes in life, you have something where you feel that it's not right and that it's frustrating." And that's basically what they had to say on the blue shell. Now, for me personally, I gotta tell you, there's moments in Mario Kart that are ridiculous. It's frantic, it's fast-paced gaming, and it's very fun. Don't get me wrong there. I'm not trying to claim it's not. But I do feel that it's pretty ridiculous when you have a commanding lead over second place, when you get slammed by several blue shells, red shells, and you lose the race. And you've been in the lead the entire time, and the last 10 seconds of the race, you lose because of that. That's quite unfair and pretty crappy. I think there should be a mode where you can play without the blue shells, or a mode where you can customize whether or not certain items are in it, like Smash Brothers. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Nintendo Switch sells 4.7 million units. ARMS and Mario Kart sell strongly. So there's not much to talk about this. If you want to know the details, they're out there. That's a lot of money, and it's important that the Switch sales continue on the upward swing. My point is that earlier when I was addressing the PlayStation Plus increase and how much money it was going to be to continue to keep your PlayStation Plus subscription, here's Nintendo increasing its sales and just really doing great for itself after what was the Wii U. So there you go. Sony could learn a lesson or two from Nintendo in what they're doing and how they're doing it. I know not everyone agrees with Nintendo and its business practices, and I'm not sitting here saying, hey, you need to sit here and agree with what Nintendo does. Every single thing they do, they are holier than every other company. But the point is, they're doing well for themselves right now, so let's hope that that pattern continues. Minecraft has added a patch for the Nintendo Switch to support 1080p. Now, again, referencing Digital Foundry, they have stated that the chunk size is between 11 and 12 chunks, and while in docked mode, you can play it at 1080p. This is for the Nintendo Switch, and that's pretty good. You will end up getting better textures and better resolution support, making the game a pleasure to play on the system itself, which just goes to show you that even an underpowered and very, very weak system compared to the systems that are going to be coming out soon, the PlayStation 4 Pro that's already out, the Nintendo Switch seems to still be able to hold its own in certain games. Finally, I want to end on the fact that Walmart confirmed that it was canceling every single SNES Classic pre-order. I mean, this is how we do business now, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 2017. You pre-ordered something? Hey, sorry about your luck. We're canceling every single one of them. Quote, unfortunately, due to a technical glitch in our page for the Super Nintendo Classic Edition, mistakenly launched on Friday evening ahead of the official release date, we have sent out cancellations to all customers who ordered them. And that was Walmart talking to The Verge. Quote, we know that this is incredibly disappointing to those customers and we apologize for the mistake. We will update our site as soon as the product becomes available. Now, this is very, very unfortunate. I don't know what else to say about this. You can read over the article. There were a lot of angry people when Walmart announced this cancellation, but what can you do? Ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't ready. There's nothing that can be done when we're talking about stuff like this, which is really, really depressing. Look, the Super Nintendo Classic is going to come out. There's no questioning that. But at the end of the day, whether or not you're able to pre-order it or not really depends on you. Now, there's two things that you need to think about with this. Do you want to get the stock default version of this system? Because if Nintendo has learned from the NES Classic, a lot of people say that it's just going to be sold out. Okay, fine. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But if they learned and it's not sold out and you buy a couple of these thinking you're going to make a profit, you might just lose out and end up selling them for the same price you bought them for or less. And two, you might want to hold out because people will end up inevitably being able to hack or mod these things, and they might be selling them on eBay with a full game list or some of the better Super Nintendo ROMs that are available on the system instead of just the games that are coming out with this Classic Edition. Not that there aren't good games with it, but there might be people on eBay able to hack in and put in an entire library versus whatever comes with it. So you might want to hold off and buy one of those. Again, I'm not advocating piracy. That is not my goal here. But my point is, there are plenty of games out there where the companies have gone out of business, and the companies today that own the rights to those games have no desire to allow us to buy those games anymore. For whatever reason, those games are dead. Unless you have the original Super Nintendo and cartridge, you'll never be able to play them, and the companies that originally created them will not profit off of them anymore. It's not like Nintendo with Super Mario World, where they're still around making money off of that game. So that's all I have to say about that, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of What You Missed. I wish you all the best, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to like and share this with all your friends, and I've been your host, Protomario, and I'm signing out. As always, good gaming, God bless, and thanks for watching.